Psychopathy is a personality or mental disorder characterized partly by antisocial behavior, a diminished capacity for remorse, and poor behavioral controls. According to the Psychopathy checklist, revised factors, facets, and items. Factor 1, interpersonal, giveness, superficial charm, grandiose sense of self-worth, pathological lying, cunning, manipulative. Affective, lack of remorse or guilt, emotionally shallow, callous, lack of empathy, failure to accept responsibilities for own actions. Factor 2, lifestyle, need for stimulation, proneness to boredom, parasitic lifestyle, lack of realistic long-term goals, impulsiveness, irresponsibility. Facet 4, antisocial, poor behavioral controls, early behavioral problems, juvenile delinquency, revocation of conditional release, criminal versatility, other items such as many short-term marital relationships, and promiscuous sexual behavior. Histrionic personality disorder is characterized by a long-standing pattern of attention-seeking behavior and extreme emotionality. Someone with histrionic personality disorder wants to be the center of attention in any group of people and feel uncomfortable when they are not. People with this disorder are usually able to function at a high level and can be successful socially and at work. Symptoms include acting or looking overly seductive, being easily influenced by other people, being overly concerned with their looks, being overly dramatic and emotional, being overly sensitive to criticism or disapproval, believing that relationships are more intimate than they actually are, blaming failure or disappointment on others, constantly seeking reassurance or approval, having a low tolerance for frustration or delayed gratification, needing to be the center of attention, quickly changing emotion which may seem shallow to others. Emotional incest. One of the most pervasive, traumatic, and damaging dynamics that occurs in families is this dysfunctional, emotionally dishonest society is emotional incest. It is rampant in our society, but there is still very little written or discussed about it. Emotional incest occurs when a child feels responsible for a parent's emotional well-being. This happens because parents do not know how to have healthy boundaries. For example, consider a scenario where a mother is crying in her bedroom and her 3-year-old toddles into the room. To the child, it looks like mom's dying. The child is terrified and says, "I love you, Mommy." Mommy looks at her child, her eyes filled with love, and her face breaks into a smile. She says, "Oh, honey, I love you so much. You are my wonderful little boy or girl. Come here and give Mommy a hug. You make Mommy feel so good." A touching scene? No! Emotional abuse. This child has just received the message that he or she has the power to save Mommy's life, that the child has power over and therefore responsible for Mommy's feelings. This is emotional abuse and sets up an emotionally incestuous relationship in which the child feels responsible for the parent's emotional needs. Psychological projection was conceptualized by Sigmund Freud in the 1890s as a defense mechanism in which a person unconsciously rejects his or her own unacceptable attributes by ascribing them to objects or persons in the outside world. Hostile aggressive parenting is defined as a general pattern of behavior, manipulation, actions, or decision-making of a parent, usually a parent or guardian, that either directly or indirectly, 1. creates undue difficulties or interferences in the relationship of a child with another person, usually a parent or guardian, involved with the parenting or rearing of the child, or 2. promotes or maintains an unwarranted unfairness or inequality in the parenting arrangements between the child's parents and or guardians, and 3. promotes ongoing and unnecessary conflict between parents and or guardians, which adversely affects the parenting, well-being, and rearing of a child. For more on the female psychopath, please visit my blog, TammyPepperman.wordpress.com, and look for the signs to watch out for. Number 1, jealousy. 2, controlling behavior. 3, quick involvement. 4, unrealistic expectations. 5, isolation. 6, blames others for problems. 7, blames others for feelings. 8, hypersensitivity. 9, cruelty to animals or children. 10, playful use of force and sex. 11, verbal abuse. 12, Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. 13, past battering. 14, threats of violence. 15, breaking or striking objects. 16, any force during an argument. Don't forget to listen in every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time to Leaving the Farm with Pat and Tammy, only on Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. No need to expect us, we're already here.